Hey guys, hello, Steel Star here. We are on the last part of Painscreek Killings today. I've been really enjoying the game so far. Actually, as I am recording this voiceover, I've already finished this game twice, getting all the achievements. Pretty fun. Did I already read this? Anyway, I will try again. Dear Dorothy, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for all you've done for me. You've taken care of my store on so many occasions. You've helped to maintain its bright spirit. I'd be lying if I said that I'm not saddened by your departure. I will greatly miss you. I wish you all the best in your new place. Do invite me there once you've settled in. May God be with you. Best regards, Oliver Gibson. Okay, so we can just move on. And we're going to the photography studio. Which is on Walnut Avenue. Okay, that's where the inn is. So that's Clover. Fresh eggs, farmer's market. Walnut. There we go. Perfect. Office of Church Haven, 59 Elm Street, Old Jersey, SY, July 17th, 1995. Dear Mr. Oliver Gibson, we regret to hear that Father Matthew will not be joining any part of the annual religious gathering event from July 18th till the 23rd in South York. We received Father Matthew's memo yesterday stating that he was not feeling well. I assume he has also informed you about this last-minute change. Please send him our regards. We wish him a swift recovery so he may serve the people of Painscreek soon. Sincerely, Todd McDermott. Diary. January 3rd, 1996. We just attended Trish's funeral this morning. Charles tried to be strong, but by the end of the ceremony, his face was wet. Dorothy cried her heart out. It truly pains the soul to witness so many deaths occur here in Painscreek. Every one of those deaths was a person I knew, and some were very close to me. Among them, Vivian's death shocked me the most. Despite what the media said, I will not, for even a moment, believe that Scott killed her. It just doesn't make sense to me. Trisha's death hurt the most, probably because I spent the last few years mentoring. She was smart, kind, and very talented. She was turning into a very promising young woman. With her passing, Charles has lost all his family members. He's all alone. I can't imagine the pain he's going through. August 14th, 1996. Dorothy left Painscreek early February, a month after Trisha's funeral. The hospital closed shortly after. By the end of the month, Charles had packed and departed Painscreek for good. Wanda passed away on March 12, 1996. Her cancer had spread too far and too deep. The doctors could not save her. 2 weeks after her funeral, Derek moved out of Painscreek. Autumn is approaching. My photography store will be closing by the end of this month. I have many things to say, but there's no one left to confide in. Anyways, I've been thinking about retiring for quite a while now. Maybe the time has come. Oliver Gibson's story achievement. I think I don't have to, but I'll do it anyway. I was going to take a picture of the pages. Okay. As it does record the information, so I might not have to, but I do it anyway, so. Bathroom. There's never anything in the bathrooms. That's locked. Ooh, shovel. Got that. We need that. There we go. I thought there was a key in there. I was like, why is there a key in the shower? That was not the case. Andrew Reed, autopsy report. I performed an autopsy on the body of the Department of Coroner, Grand City, Newland on June 9th, 1995 at 0800 hours. From the anatomic findings and pertinent history, I ascribed the death to third-degree burns, "44-year-old white male with burns, found at home, pronounced dead at the scene. Third-degree burns found across body, completely charred over the head, face, neck, and hands, heavily charred across the front and back of the body, legs, and feet. Closer inspection reveals punctured lungs with an object similar to a switchblade or with a small knife. And pneumothorax as a possible cause of death, but body is too burnt to confirm. Okay, now this is the autopsy report for Henry Johnson. I performed an autopsy on the body of Henry Johnson, Grand City, Newland, on July 14th, 1995. Okay, so 61-year-old white male pulled out of car submerged in lake. Victim's lungs do not contain water, which shows that he did not die by drowning. Due to the prolonged submerging of the body in water, the estimated time of death might not be accurate. Estimated time of death is between 12 to 16 days. Top right side of the skull leaning towards the front and above the right eye. Has a wide crack, usually caused by a sharp object and strong force. Front torso, face, and back portion of forearms suffer numerous lacerations. Victim most likely succumbed to blood loss before being placed in water. Whoa. Brutal. Okay, now this is Vivian Roberts' autopsy. Same death, like, says exsanguination. 55-year-old white female found lying in front of mansion gates, pronounced dead at the scene. 12-centimeter wide and 7-centimeter deep crack found on the right side of the head. Impact caused by strong force with a sharp object. Lacerations on front torso and back sides of both forearms. Victim died from loss of blood. Code for Charles safe in the gallery is Vincent's birthday. How could I not have thought about that? Call Sheriff James, check his file. Okay, now we go back to the sheriff's office. Okay, so to Sheriff Howard. The crack in Vivian Roberts' skull shows that the weapon is used as an object with a heavy and sharp end. Something like an axe would fit the description. To cause a crack that big, the attacker must be rather strong. I'm assuming it's either a man or a strong woman who's experienced in the use of the weapon. The victim must have been facing the attacker because of the lacerations found on the front of her torso, as well as the backside of both forearms, showing that she tried to block the attacks by holding up her arms. The fatal strike landed on the right side of the victim's head, just above her right eyebrows. This clarifies the following. 1, that the victim was facing the killer. 2, that the killer is strong enough to land such a clean but deadly blow. And 3, that the killer is left-handed. Wait, there was somebody that was left-handed earlier. Oh my gosh, who was it? Because they were like, how was I supposed to know? Like, I'm not crazy, am I? Since the murder weapon was never recovered and confirmed, my assumption of it being an axe still remains. Since this is me doing you a solid, do not, under any circumstances, leak this information or I'll be in big trouble. The guys here in Grand City don't want anyone more than necessary to know about these details. Hope the above information helps. Sean M. Smith. All right. Vivian Roberts murder case, record of alibi. Interview record recorded July 25th, 1995. Interview to Charles Roberts. I wasn't here when my wife was killed. I left for New York on July 18th to attend a conference meeting that was supposed to last for 3 days. I was supposed to be back on the weekend, on the morning of July 20th. However, I received a phone call from our butler, Bernard, informing me that Vivian had been murdered. I could not believe what I heard. I cut short my trip and immediately came back to Painscreek. Recorded July 25th, 1995. Interview to Matthew Brooks. There is an annual religious gathering event in Hartford where pastors from different churches in our state's vicinity meet and discuss what we can do to help our society. The event started on July 18th and ran for 5 days, so it ended on July 23rd. I represent Painscreek Trinity Church at the event. Our church can confirm this because we had to cancel our Sunday service that week. Interview record. Recorded July 25th, 1995. Interview to Bernard Hopkins. I was preparing for the fundraising event when I felt sick. However, there was no one who could really do my job, so I kept working. At about 9 in the evening, I was too sick to continue. So I bid Vivian goodnight and headed back home. Dorothy Patterson saw me leave. No, there's no one else that lives there. I live alone. Doesn't have an alibi. July 25th, 1995. Interview to Dorothy Patterson. Yes, Bernard was not feeling well that day, so he left slightly earlier than usual. However, he finished his work before he left. When I saw how sick he appeared, I wondered how he could have kept on working. Well, I guess that's why the Roberts family trusts him so much. Me, I was around the mansion most of the time, either preparing the food or making sure that the other maids were doing their jobs. The fundraising event, which was to be held the following day, was important to Vivian, so we were all making sure that everything would be perfect. By the time Mary left, it was already past midnight. I locked the doors and then went home myself. No, I live alone. Interview to Mary Martinez. My name is Mary Martinez. I have been working in the kitchen for the past few days for the upcoming fundraising event. Jimmy's Bakery was supposed to deliver the cakes, but a few days before the event, they called to inform us that they can't make it. Suddenly, I was in charge of the cakes. I was so mad because we didn't have much time. This event was supposed to be extremely crucial for Vivian's business, but after hearing that Vivian was murdered, all my anger and work just sort of became irrelevant. Recorded July 25th, 1995. Interview to Derek Tyler. I remember dropping Miss Roberts off at the airport on July 18th at around 2 p.m. I was supposed to come back after that to drive around for Vivian, but she told me to take a break. Since I hadn't had a day off for quite some time, I decided to visit a friend of mine who was moving upstate to West Dakota. What sort of friend? An elementary school buddy that used to live here, but moved when he received a scholarship. I stayed at his place for a few days before coming back to Painscreek. Yes, he can vouch for me. I have his number at home. I can give it to you later. Derek never gave me the number. Yeah, I think he did it. Or the butler. I'm going to put this car key to use. Oh. Lockbox. 201 key. Is that a diary? Why can't I grab it? There we go. Steve Moss diary. My head hurts, my tire's flat, and the phone's not working. Is someone trying to stop me from leaving Painscreek? Am I close to discovering something? Oh God, I thought he was the one. I was wrong. He's not the killer. He's not. He's on to me, and I had to hide the key in one of those drains by the roadside. He will never find. Ever since I received the messages and the key, I've been following this anonymous person blindly. What a fool I've been. I need to revisit my investigation notes and see if I might have missed anything important. I looked through the alibis recorded by Sheriff Howard. There were 6 interviews. Charles, Matthew, Bernard, Dorothy, Mary, and Derek. Then I noticed it. One of them is lying. It was recorded that there was an event, yet I remember reading somewhere about it being canceled. Where did I read it again? I can't seem to remember. Oh my God, I've just realized that the E in all the killer's messages is slightly off in comparison to all of the other letters. If I can find that typewriter, I can find who killed Vivian. Time to leave. was already over here, I think. I remember this place. There we go. Read. City of New Jersey, Department of Child Psychiatric Division. Dear Miss Wanda Tyler, after almost 5 months of sessions, your son Derek Tyler is now much better. We are still unable to get him to talk much, but he has chosen to express his thoughts and feelings through written text, which is a breakthrough for him. During his last session, however, he wrote the following. Dad was standing in the middle of the road. He was waving to me. Mom was crying and her tears dripped onto my face. I woke up. Kitty was purring and licking my face. I think she wanted to go out. Mom doesn't like me to make noise when it's late at night. Says it will wake everyone up. So I was very quiet when I opened the back door. Kitty flew away. There were noises behind the wall fence. There's a door that's always locked, but there's a light behind the keyhole. I walked to the door and looked through the keyhole. There were 4 people. 2 of them were fighting. A baby was crying. Then one of them fell down and hit her head. She stopped moving. Her eyes were open. I wet my pants because she was looking at me. Derek has since been very quiet. We haven't been able to grasp fully if what he wrote was real or imaginary. Nevertheless, we are concerned with his situation. Kindly get back to us so we can discuss further steps in helping him. January 24th, 1981, the school called. The principal told me that the kids have been calling Derek names, saying he's a bastard child. I know that Derek wants to know where his father is. I don't know what to say to him. February 20th, 1981. The school called me again and told me that Derek poked a bird nest till it fell off the tree. After that, he stoned the chicks to death. This resulted in him being suspended for a week. The Principal asked if Derek had suffered any kind of trauma that would cause him to act like this. I could not tell him that Derek witnessed Sophia being killed. He was only 5 when that happened. Derek stopped going to school. He told me school isn't for him. I should have not have asked him to keep quiet about Sophia's death. He must have been bottling up his emotions all these years. Maybe it's time I start homeschooling him. Alright, so January 12, 1995, I drove Vivian today since Derek is out of town with Charles. As I was driving, we talked. She expressed that, despite having a successful business, she felt empty and tired. Trisha hates Vivian for trying to stop her from seeing Scott. She seems to be really bothered by the name Vincent, and her relationship with Charles seems to be just for show. I wish I could comfort her. She's going through so much right now. If only I could confess to Vivian how much I respect I have for her, how much I admire her. January 18th, 1995, ever since Trisha brought up the name Vincent, Vivian has been pretty quiet. Even during dinner, she hardly spoke. I can barely remember the last time Vivian appeared happy. I don't think anyone can blame her. Wanda hasn't been coming to work for a while now. Her illness is getting worse. I wonder how she's coping. February 5th, 1995, Derek wasn't available to drive Vivian again, so I offered to help. It's been a month since I first drove for her. She's been opening up more to me, telling me about the struggle she's faced with her rocky relationship with Charles, how she really dislikes Scott. Sometimes I would give her some suggestions when she asked what she should do. Other times she just wants someone to listen to her. Mostly I'm just happy to be with her. February 22nd, 1995, Vivian seems rather distraught recently. During the afternoon tea gathering, I stood outside the room and tried to listen to the conversations. She feels miserable being with Charles. They hardly look at each other, let alone speak. Personally, I don't think Charles deserves her. I finished reading Vivian's biography. Half the facts were incorrect. The writer should have done his homework better. March 17th, 1995. Sometimes when I'm driving for Vivian, she asks me to drop her off at the corner of a street, typically in front of Tom's Calf. She's always telling me that she'll make it back home on her own. It aroused my curiosity, so after dropping her off today, I parked the car and watched her. She ordered a cup of coffee to go. She then left the cafe and walked up the street for about 5 minutes to a residential area. She stopped in front of an apartment and pressed the doorbell. Shortly after, a man in his early 30s wearing a suit opened the door. He leaned over and hugged Vivian. She gave the coffee to him and they exchanged some words. I couldn't hear what they said. They then entered the apartment together. Who is he? May 12, 1995. This is the 6th time I've followed Vivian. After she went into the building with the guy, I parked the car nearby to wait for her to come out. Is this considered stalking? About 2 hours later, a cab stopped out in front of the apartment. Shortly afterwards, Vivian came outside and the man followed closely behind. They chatted for a bit. Vivian looked extremely comfortable with him. Before leaving, she kissed him on the cheek. What's going on? May 29th, 1995. I tracked down the guy. He works at a bank. The place they meet is his apartment. How could she do that? Who the hell is he? I reported sick for the 3rd consecutive day. As I laid in bed, I kept thinking, no matter what Charles did to her, she has kept her faith in him throughout the years. How could she be having an affair now? She's better than that. She's supposed to choose me. She probably knows you're stalking her, and that's why she doesn't want to choose you. July 21st, 1995. When the police reported that Vivian was murdered, I was floored. I still don't know what to do. My mind is blank. All I can think is, how did it happen? How can Vivian be dead? July 23rd, 1995. Everyone's mourning about Vivian's death. People are coming or calling in to express their condolences. Charles hasn't been out of his room for days, and Trisha's crying her heart out. Dorothy has been assigning busy work to all the mansion employees, hoping that it would take their minds off of Vivian's death. Samuel, our security guard, has been reviewing all the tapes of the past 2 weeks for any suspicious activities. I wish I could be of any help. July 27th, 1995. Scott was just apprehended for the murder of Vivian. Is that true? No one would have thought of that. I could never ever believe that Scott would be capable of killing someone, let alone Vivian. Yet it makes me so mad. I feel confused. September 29th, 1995. Trisha was admitted to the hospital today. She had a nervous breakdown after finding out that Scott could be her mother's killer. Her condition has been getting worse over the past few weeks, and no one has been able to properly help her. Charles finally decided to seek help from the hospital. October 27, 1995. Matthew never believed that his son killed Vivian. He hired some fancy lawyer to defend him. Scott's been released on bail today. It's beyond ridiculous. I don't think Scott should have been released at all, despite the insufficient evidence. He killed Vivian. I know that he's guilty. Everyone knows it. They should have gone ahead and prosecuted him. November 1st, 1995. The maids were cleaning the mansion when they found some stuff belonging to Vivian, a key and some stationery. I asked Charles what he'd like to do with them, but he told me to take care of it myself. I brought them back to my place. November 4th, 1995. Vivian's death has caused lots of grief to everyone, especially Charles. After hearing how heartbroken Charles was 2 nights ago, I can't bear to see him suffer anymore. Scott should pay for what he did. Ooh. Not looking good for you, Bernard. Bloody knife. Serrated. Wow. Alright, time to go to the mansion. I don't even know what house that one was. Dear Trisha, as I've grown to learn about my birth parents, I feel as if it's a great veil has been lifted from my eyes. I now understand why Father Matthew was against us seeing each other. He was right. We shouldn't be together. Please believe me when I say I did not kill your mother. I've never lied to you and I never will. I don't know who killed Vivian. Hopefully the truth will come to light someday. There's so much that I want to tell you, but I cannot at this moment. I pray the day when I can express everything to you will come quickly. All I can say now is that I'm sorry for all the pain that I've caused you. Please forgive me. Sincerely, Scott. And I just want to say, these people did not approve of them from the start because they're siblings, and they didn't even bother to tell them that. That was weird. It like pushed me all the way across the room. Ooh, a diary. January 2nd, 1995. Although we live in the same house, Charles and I hardly speak to each other. I know that he's been feeling guilty ever since his affair, but that was 20 years ago. It's high time I forgive him out loud. Next, I need to work things out with Trisha. I've been objecting her relationship with Scott for quite some time. In doing so, Trisha has been avoiding me. I haven't been a good mother, but I want to be there whenever she needs me. From now on, basically. I just want things to go back to the way they were. January 12th, 1995. The agency has arranged for a new guy to help me. His name is Owen Smith. Quite a young man for what he has accomplished. During our meeting, Owen asked me many things, as if he was interviewing me. The brief introduction turned out to be hours long. However, by the end of it, he said he has everything he needed and will get things moving right away. I have a good feeling about him. May 12th, 1995. Owen called to meet with me today. He had the papers ready for me to sign. He said that the location of the exhibition has been approved. All we need is the down payment. That's great. I signed the papers almost immediately. After that, I informed our accountant, Helen, to transfer the money from the Roberts Relief Funds, since the hospital won't be needing it for a while. Owen's been a great help since we brought up the idea of an art gallery for the public. I'm not sure if things could have gone so quickly if it had been some other agent. I owe him that much. June 17, 1995. Our gallery will open in 3 months. I'm so excited about it. We have received most of the artwork from the contributors and artists. All I need is to ask Charles if he would be willing to donate some of his paintings. If this exhibition succeeds, it would be good for us and for Painscreek. I haven't felt this alive in a very long time. I have a purpose now. Okay, yeah, I already did that. But okay, so I'm done with her story. No, I need to do. Here she lies. 0524 or 23. Dear Sophia, how have you been? I hope everyone is treating you well at the mansion. It's been 6 months since my missionary work started here in Indonesia. Life here is hard, but meaningful. I thought my life at the orphanage was miserable, but after coming here, I realized I am blessed more than I could ever imagine. I'm supposed to be back in 1 week's time, but I recently decided that I'll be extending my stay here for another 6 months. I haven't received any letters from you for a while now. I hope you're doing well. Remember the time when we were at the orphanage? You said that you don't want to be poor anymore? I think God heard your call and brought you to Painscreek. Charles and Vivian told me they were glad I introduced you to them. They said you were a hard-working person with a kind heart, and that us being related was not the reason they hired you. You got the job on your own merit. I did not know whether or not to tell them we are not actually cousins. I feel bad for lying to them. I guess I'll have to tell them the truth someday. Having said that, I'm glad that you are in Painscreek. We can talk and meet any time, just like the good old days at the orphanage. I will do my best here. I hope you can wait for me. Best regards, Matthew Brooks. P.S. I have prepared a special present for your birthday. Wait for my telegram that day. Diary, August 30th, 1974. I know some people don't like me. Wanda always picks on me and Bernard ignores me most of the time. Andrew, well, he's okay as long as I'm not in his garden. Dorothy cares a lot for me, though. I like her. Tom, our security guard, treats me with respect, even though I'm just a housemaid. Vivian and Charles are kind to me. Oh, and Matthew, too. I almost forgot about him. He's been taking care of me forever, certainly as long as I can remember. I'm a lucky girl. October 20th, 1974. Matthew talks to me whenever he has time. Sometimes I feel like he's trying to escape his chores at the church. We'll talk about everything under the sun. Our hopes, dreams, futures. It reminds me of our days at the orphanage. December 29th, 1974. Landing a job here as a maid was the best thing that could have happened to me. However, I never imagined I would be having an affair with a married man, let alone my employer. Now I'm carrying his child. And how do I face Matthew? March 15th, 1975. I received a letter from Matthew today saying that he will be extending his stay in Indonesia for 6 more months. That's always been him. He's always had a noble heart, wanting to help people everywhere. I miss him, but I'm glad he decided to extend his stay there. It gives me time to prepare how I'll explain my situation to him. I don't know how he'll take it if he just hears the truth blurted out once he gets back. I received a telegram this morning from Matthew wishing me a happy birthday. He told me he had a special birthday present prepared for me. All I need to do is find the clues that he placed in our favorite places. He's waiting for my telegram after I've solved the puzzle. I've actually solved it already, but I don't know what to say to him. What should I do? June 1st, 1975. My baby was born today at 8:20 a.m., and it's a boy. He looks just like Charles. Dorothy's taking good care of us. She prepares the food and attends to my needs. I almost feel like I'm her boss. Charles visits me all the time asking if we need anything else. I told him he didn't have to come so often and to instead focus on work. As a mayor, he must have a lot on his mind. Charles told me today that his mother, Magdalene, will be arriving in 2 weeks. She knows about our relationship. I feel nervous because she's a strict woman. At the same time, I'm happy because she told Charles to take responsibility for me and my son. Soon, I won't have to be a maid anymore. Charles has decided to name our child Vincent Roberts. I like that name. Sophia Miller's story. Back to the mansion. Nope, not there. Keep getting lost. There, I think we're getting closer. July 31st, 1995. I cannot believe that Scott killed my wife. It's been spewed all over the media. How? Why? He loves Trisha, and I treated him like my own son. Doesn't make any sense. August 13th, 1995. I visited Scott today. I asked him why he would kill Vivian. He did not answer, but simply looked down on the floor. I wanted an answer so desperately that I nearly rattled his neck. Does he even feel any guilt or remorse for what he's done? How could he not say anything? October 22nd, 1995. I visited Scott again today, knowing that he will be released soon. There just wasn't enough evidence to pin him. He looked thinner than before, but I didn't care. I wanted to know why he killed Vivian. When I asked, he stared at me. I was so angry that I yelled at him. I was about to leave when out of nowhere he said, "I pity the ignorant." What the hell does that mean? November 2nd, 1995. I got drunk last night at the inn. Scott is now a free man. I think I babbled about how much I despised Scott and what I would do to have someone get rid of him. Did I really say that? How did I get home anyways? Oh right, Bernard was with me. He drove me home. Yeah, Bernard. Of course he did. Okay, last will and testament. I, Charles Roberts of 1 Maple Drive, Painscreek, NL 28115, address being of sound mind, declare this exclusive. Okay. Dated July 1st, 1975, effective as of today, June 21st, 1975. Should a boy be born in the Roberts family that is of direct lineage to Charles Roberts, if he is the eldest son in no other's contest, he shall inherit all of the family's fortune upon Charles Roberts' passing. The sole condition to this is that the son must be at least 25 years of age. Item 2, Article 6A of my will shall be stricken in its entirety. The firstborn child of the Roberts family shall inherit 50% of all the family's fortune should Charles Roberts pass away. Article 11 shall be added to my will and shall read, Vincent Roberts, born of Charles Roberts and Sophia Miller on June 1st, 1975, in Painscreek, NL, shall be officially acknowledged as a family member of the Roberts family, effective July 1st, 1975. The church. I've already been in here. So I don't know if there was a point in this. Okay, I don't know if I read this, so I'm gonna read it again. If I did read it. February 25th, 1971. I've had always wanted to be adopted, but I guess heaven had something else in store for me. Instead of being taken in by a family, I came to Painscreek Trinity Church. To be honest, I would prefer to have a real family with people whom I can call mom and dad. But Father Calvin said God has other plans for my future, and in time, I will come to realize it. The Roberts family is looking for a new maid. I told Miss Roberts that a relative of mine would fit the position really well. I know I shouldn't lie, but I wanted Sophia to be here in Painscreek. Father Calvin always said we have to help those who are in need. Sophia is in need, and I'm sure she will be glad to have this job. August 10th, 1971. Since starting the job at the mansion, Sophia has settled in nicely. Whenever she has time off from work, we've been exploring Payne's Creek together. I have so much to show her. This is just like the orphanage days, and I'm extremely comfortable being with her. Today was Sophia's day off. We ate at the Moon Cafe again. I can't seem to get enough of this place. The food is delicious, the atmosphere relaxing, and the coffee tastes great. Maybe it's all because of Sophia's company. Still, I love to hang out here. This is definitely one of my favorite places in Painscreek, followed closely by the church and the little big books. Cemetery time. We just found out Matthew's favorite places, so. Where's that rock? There it is. Best friends forever. Pick up. Trisha, congratulations. I'll always love you. Secret of Painscreek, hidden room and study room. Underground secret passage, secret room above father's room. Future Detective Scott. Church, okay. January 11, 1996. Scott is gone and Trisha's dead. How did this happen? We held Trisha's funeral last week. There could have been more people. There should have been more. This village will be barren in a few months to a year. My generation is just moving out, and the old generation is simply dying out. I will also be leaving here soon. Once my mother passes on, once I can't take care of her any longer. The night Vivian died, I saw Scott meeting her. I was at a distance from where they were arguing. I couldn't hear the details, but I could tell they were disagreeing when Scott left and went back to his cabin. I followed him. I watched him through the window till early morning, all the time thinking how we have drifted so far. How could Trisha choose him over me? Am I not good enough for her? Police questioned me when Scott was suspected of killing Vivian. I know he didn't do it, but I decided not to tell them what I knew. With Scott locked up, I could have a chance to be with Trisha. That's messed up. I didn't expect this small mission on my part would eventually lead to Scott's death. When Scott died, Trisha ended her life. In a way, I too died that day. I never wished for Scott to die, nor Trisha. I hope they can forgive me. Oh, 3. Hey, that's my birthday. Off to Anne's Inn. Oh, there's the bird thing. I'm lost all the time. keep always trying to go through that gate. Playground. House. Stream. I don't know, I keep getting lost. Here we go. The bird box. It's a log. Of course it is. Dear Sophia, it's been a while since I last wrote to you. I've been busy. I hope you're doing well. Father Calvin has been guiding me how to be a man of God, to grow my faith in the Lord and my compassion for people. When I see those who have no beds to sleep upon and no food to eat, my heart goes out to them. I wish I could do more. Father Calvin has been handing me more and more responsibilities. It seems like he might be retiring soon. He even gave me his favorite desk in the study room. I've changed its code to 0318. The day you first came to the orphanage. Painscreek has been very quiet recently. Nothing much goes on in this small town. Oliver is still Painscreek's event photographer. Charles and Vivian are running their businesses as usual. Trisha's 7 now. She's really smart and loves to hang out with her dad. Dorothy's the same old Dorothy that we all love. Bernard's still the reliable butler. I don't think he'll ever be replaced. As for me, well, I'm still here, waiting for your return. Do you remember the church attic? Well, I spend most of my free time there now, doing wood carving. It helps me relax. Hey, I even got pretty good at it. Sometimes I'll think of you, and how we spent our time together. I'm not sure if you ever realized how I felt towards you. Since you left, I keep writing these letters, but I never mail them, and to be honest, it's because I don't have a clue where you may be staying right now. At the same time, writing to you has made me feel that we are still close to one another. Today marks the 6th year that you left Painscreek. I still don't know why you left. All I want to say is take care. This will be my last letter. One day I hope to see you again. Love always, Matthew. February 14th, 1982. Aw, ring. Dear Sophia, please wait for my return. Love, Matthew. Every moment I spent with you is like a beautiful dream come true. Happy birthday. Is that it? Trying to go through that way. I'm gonna go back to the church so we can input that code that we just found. Hopefully I can get there. Why did I do that? Okay, May 13th, 1995, I visited Scott today. I couldn't believe what he said. How could Sophia be dead? How could Andrew, Henry, and Vivian have killed her? Did Dorothy know? How about Wanda or Charles? Did they know? Why didn't anyone tell me? May 28th, 1995. I visited Sophia's grave today. It was just a wooden cross that Scott made. There was no name on it. I placed some flowers in front of it. She always had a liking for flowers. June 4th, 1995. We had Mass today. Vivian and Henry were there. Andrew, as usual, didn't come. All I can think of whenever I look at them is whether they actually killed Sophia or not. As they praised the Lord throughout the sermon, I felt sick to my stomach. I couldn't bear to see their faces. What should I do now? I know I should forgive them, but it's so difficult. I'm dying inside. I wish I never visited Scott. I wish I never heard what he said. I wish I could just forget everything. I need to talk to Andrew. I need him to confess. Man, they have me going all over the place. Gotta get to the study room in the mansion. Oh, it's downstairs. Painscreek Community Hospital. Dear Charles Roberts, Vivian's situation is currently stabilizing. She has accepted the fact that she cannot conceive anymore. However, she needs time to fully recover, and a 6-month rehabilitation is necessary. Your presence at the hospital has been noted to upset her. This only prolongs her recovery. I'm suggesting that you try and refrain from visiting your wife until she's in a better state to receive you. Your mother's desire for a boy to be an heir to your family has caused tremendous strain on her. Please consider addressing this issue with your mother. Painscreek Community Hospital regards the patient's recovery as the highest priority. Our staff will do their best to help Vivian. I apologize for any inconvenience this may cause you. Dr. Henry Johnson. Okay, Bernard's Investigation Services. Upon your request, we investigated Andrew Reed and Henry Johnson's deaths. Due to confidentiality agreements with our sources, we are unable to reveal the true nature of their deaths. Suffice to say, both of them did not die of said accidents, so we dug deeper. We found out that Andrew and Henry were both related to the disappearance of Sophia Miller and the death of Magdalene Roberts 20 years ago. What really happened to Sophia we do not know of as of now. However, some evidence was brought to light regarding Magdalene Roberts' death. We talked to a retired nurse who used to work at the Painscreek Community Hospital, although she preferred to remain anonymous. According to her, she came across a note while cleaning Dr. Johnson's office. In it, Dr. Johnson stated that the prescription was lethal and to be administered only to Magdalene. And the dosage has to be precise or it will not work. No one else shouldn't take it. A letter was made out to your wife, Vivian Roberts, according to the note. If you would like for us to stop this investigation, let us know at your earliest convenience. Otherwise, we will continue to find out the truth about Sophia's disappearance. Jason Beckard. To Charles Roberts. Our investigation was initially promising. We interviewed possible witnesses who might know something about Sophia's disappearance. Months later, however, we are nowhere near knowing what happened to Sophia. We've searched through all the states for any possible trace, but to no avail. What we can conclude at this time is that the main cause of Sophia's disappearance has to do with Andrew, Henry, and Vivian. Now that they are gone, we are unable to get the truth about what really happened to Sophia. If you prefer, we can still continue the search. However, the results look bleak. We have posted rewards for any information regarding Sophia, hoping that it's just a matter of time before someone with real information emerges. Or steps up. For the time being, we suggest that you wait. Should anything emerge, you will be the first to know. Sincerely, Jason Beckard. November 18th, 1995. Months ago, right before Vivian was killed, I confronted her about Mom's death. She said she didn't know anything about it. She only administered the medicine as provided by Dr. Johnson. She was lying. I could see it in her eyes. She was scared and she was hiding her fear. I know that Vivian was never completely truthful with me, but I still have no proof yet. She never liked Mom, but I wouldn't have thought her capable of killing her own mother-in-law. I know that she had something to do with what happened to Mom. And Sophia. What can I do? She was my wife after all. And now, December 27th, Vivian is dead. So is Scott. Now Trisha is dead too. Is this my punishment for the affair I had 20 years ago? Nice. Magdalene Roberts, mother of Charles, dies at 68. Age 68. Hospital reports heart attack as main cause of death. Magdalene Roberts passed away last night at the age of 68. She was visiting her son Charles Roberts in Painscreek when her heart failed. Dorothy Patterson, a maid working at the mansion, knocked on Magdalene's door at 7 a.m. Since there was no answer, she assumed Magdalene was still sleeping. It was only 2 hours later, when Magdalene still did not respond to her knocking, that she realized something was wrong. She called Bernard Hopkins, the mansion butler, who came and opened the room to find Magdalene lying on the bed. She wasn't breathing. He immediately called 911. Dr. Johnson, the family doctor and head of Painscreek Community Hospital, arrived at the mansion at around 9:30 a.m. and pronounced Magdalene Roberts dead. According to the Dr. Johnson, Magdalene Roberts probably had a heart attack sometime in the middle of the night. More accurate diagnoses are yet to be determined, but Magdalene's death was most probably the result of high blood pressure and old age. Our baby daughter is born today. We've named her Trisha. Vivian had to go through the C-section. I'm just glad that both mother and child are safe, and I thank God for that. I feel so happy to have a baby in the family. There's no words to express the joy I'm feeling inside. At the same time, I am worried of what my mother might say once she knows that the baby is the girl. August 16, 1974. Vivian is being hospitalized for the second time in a year. The first time was for the C-section, this time for mental instability. Dr. Johnson told me not to visit her until she is stabilized and ready to receive me. What can I do? Mom wants a boy, but it's not safe for Vivian to be pregnant anymore. Sometimes I feel lost, not knowing what to do. Mostly I just feel lonely. November 16th, 1974. I never thought this would happen. Whenever Sophia is babysitting Trisha, she would listen to everything have to say. I could express myself candidly. Never once did she question the decisions I made. It made me feel like she understands me. I found comfort in her, both spiritually and physically. I just never thought I would have a relationship with her. What should I do now? July 6, 1975. I have a name for our child. He will be called Vincent Roberts. I will add him to my will. Sophia seems to be hiding as well as she can from Vivian. Even I have not seen her in these last 2 days. I wonder where she could be. Dear Charles, I received a letter from Dorothy yesterday. She told me everything. What have you done, my son? Does Vivian know? Have you even considered the consequences of your actions? And what of this Sophia? What will you do with her? You made a mistake and you'll need to take responsibility for what you've done. Do you understand? You cannot take her as your wife. You already have one. This scandal cannot be publicly known. It will destroy your political career. However, the child is important. He's your flesh and blood. It might be the son you need to properly continue the family. I am now preparing to visit you. Do not say anything to Vivian yet. I will take care of it when I arrive. Love, Mom. May 3rd. Vivian hasn't spoken since she was discharged from the hospital. Dr. Johnson said she was fully healed, but it will take some time for her to adjust back to her old rhythm. I feel our relationship is deteriorating or has suffered permanently in some way. I love Trisha, and I know Vivian does too. I can only hope that my mother's passion for a grandson will not affect Vivian's love for Trisha. I hope that she does not hold any resentment towards Mother. Back to the church. I'm supposed to be able to push this. There. Ooh. Dearest Matthew, I'm writing this letter to let you know what happened to Sophia. My days are almost up, and I feel you have the right to know what happened 9 years ago. In 1974, when Vivian Roberts underwent a C-section to deliver Trisha, she was told that she could not give birth anymore. Vivian broke down mentally and was hospitalized. Sophia was tasked with taking care of the newly born Trisha and helping Charles Roberts. Charles, who was facing a lot of difficulty and pressure, unfortunately found comfort in Sophia. They had an affair. A boy was born. A few months later, Vivian found out about the relationship. She was furious. Feeling threatened by the illegitimate boy, Vivian kicked Sophia and the baby out of Painscreek Everyone believed that, but the truth is I took the boy and put him in St. Patrick's orphanage. I named him Scott. Time flies. He's going to be 10 soon. I pray that you can bear the responsibility of raising him. He does not need to know about his real parents. It's all in the past. Instead, give him a new start. I sincerely hope that you can forgive me for hiding this from you for so long. Calvin Bennett, November 1st, 1984.
June 6th, 1995. I met Andrew in the evening at his house. He was hallucinating when we met, saying that he's seen Sophia everywhere, that he's a sinner, and that he should die. But I didn't mean to kill him. My hands are still shaking. June 30th, 1995. Dr. Johnson came. He was surprised to see me. He tried to justify, saying it wasn't his fault, that he was only carrying the baby and had nothing to do with Sophia's death. When I revealed the truth about Magdalene, his face turned white. He didn't expect anyone to know the truth. He deserved to die. July 19, 1995. Just like the doctor, Vivian came alone. Instead of feeling guilty, she called Sophia a bitch who destroyed everything she had. I didn't feel any sign of remorse, feeling of guilt, or repentance from her at all. So I gave her time to express herself. And then I killed her. It's all over now. Why am I not at peace? There's this nosy investigator in town. I thought that if I led him to believe that Bernard killed Vivian, he just might believe it. But I made the mistake of trying to mislead him. Now he's suspecting me of being the killer. He has to die.
Dear Matthew, it's been more than 2 years since I started working at the mansion. I like this place a lot. The people here are nice to me. Thank you for your letter. Although I cannot be there with you for your missionary work, I will pray for your success. You were always the noble one. Do you remember the wishes we made when we were at the orphanage? Yours was to help the unfortunate. Mine was not to be poor. Well, I did not expect opportunity to knock so soon. Maybe heaven is helping me. With all that has happened these past few months, my wish might just come true. I'd love to tell you more about it, but I can't wait until you're back. I can wait until you're back. Things might be different by then. Hope it will be for the better. Love always, Sophia Miller. Uh-oh. What? Oh, crap. What the heck? I was not expecting that. This is scary. Oh crap. He's fast. Crap. Oh crap. Leave me alone. Crap. Ah, dang it. I'm trying. I'm trying. Haha. To Janet, I'm glad that you made it back safely and uncovered the truth about the Painscreek killings. Good job. Your story will be on the front page of tomorrow's newspaper. Please submit the following information as well as a photo for your article as soon as possible. Richard Harris, Editor-in-Chief. P.S. By the way, we found out who hired P.I. Stephen Moss. Who killed Vivian? Blah, blah, blah. I already know. I know. What was... Okay, Axe. Select a photo for your newspaper article. I don't know. I don't have a picture of him. That sucks. To Dorothy Patterson, my name is Janet Kelly. I'm here to inform you on behalf of P.I. Steve Moss that the secrets of the Painscreek killings have come to light. He is, however, missing. The police are searching for his whereabouts. While preparing for this letter, I could not help but wonder, what if Charles didn't commit adultery? What if Vivian had not confronted Sophia? What if Magdalene hadn't insisted on a son to continue the family line? Could things have turned out differently? In hindsight, it's easy to say what they should not have done. Sometimes it's hard to make the right choices in life, isn't it? Did Derek really hate Scott so much that it led to his death? Could Matthew not have sought revenge for Sophia? And why did Henry Johnson choose to be an accomplice in Magdalene's death? The truth was that everyone made a choice they think was the best, but not necessarily the right one. This made me realize the following. We have the freedom to say or do whatever we want, there are consequences following our actions. The bigger the mistake, the harsher the consequence. It was true that Charles and Sophia's affair was wrong, but Vivian had a choice, either to confront Charles about it or take it out on Sophia. She chose the latter. Just as Vivian made her choice, so did Andrew, Henry, and Matthew. In the end, they all had to face the consequences. One thing puzzled me. If Steve and I were both trying to find out the truth, why was I saved but not him? I hope I can find an answer someday. Till then, this is the story of Painscreek killings. And yes, I used a default photo because I didn't even get the other photo of Matthew. Okay, well, I really enjoyed that game. My head is like still spinning. I was waiting for somebody to pop up and say stop snooping all game, and then at the end there, of course, the killer comes out and tries to kill me with an axe. Wow. Definitely wasn't who I thought it was, or any of the people I thought it was, so that's a good thing. Did anybody else see that coming? Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. "95% complete. Rank detective." Alright, so I guess that's it. Thank you so much for joining me on this playthrough of the Painscreek killings. I hope everyone enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.